welcome to the deep dive. So if you're learning English, you've probably experienced that moment, right, where you're mentally translating every single sentence.
Oh, absolutely. It's a really common experience.
Yeah, so today we're tackling that head on. Our mission is, well, to explore some really practical strategies. We've got 9 of them, actually.
9 key ideas, yeah.
To help your brain, start thinking directly in English. Imagine just a smoother, more natural flow when you speak, when you understand.
It sounds like the dream, doesn't it? But it's achievable.
It does. And it might seem like a big leap, maybe a bit overwhelming, but honestly, with consistent effort and the right approach, it's totally within reach.
Definitely. It's about rewiring things a bit. Initially language learning can feel like you're constantly building this mental translator machine in your head. But what if we could just bypass that? Create a direct link between the thought itself and the English word.
Right. Skipping the middleman.
Exactly. And the source material we're looking at today gives us a pretty good roadmap for how to actually do that.
Okay, cool. Let's dive into that first strategy then. Comprehensive and active immersion.
Right. So immersion. Everyone talks about it.
Yeah, but this isn't just like having some English music playing vaguely in the background while you do chores.
No, not passive at all. It's about consciously surrounding yourself with it. Actively.
So practical things, like switching your phone language to English. Social media, too.
Making English the language you see first, digitally. And then actively seeking out entertainment movies, TV shows, podcasts, whatever.
Stuff you actually like, right? That's key.
It has to be genuinely interesting to you. Otherwise, you'll just tune it out. It's about engaging with it.
Because that way, your brain starts to, pick up patterns.
Exactly. You intuitively start recognizing patterns, the rhythm of the language. You form those direct links between concepts and the English words.
Without thinking about the translation step.
Precisely. You internalize the flow. It's like strengthening a muscle. Consistent, active use.
Okay, that makes sense. Which leads nicely into strategy, too. A conscious internal monologue, but in simple English.
Yeah, simple is the key word here. This isn't about, trying to debate philosophy in your head on day one.
Definitely not. It's more like narrating the small stuff.
Exactly. Just narrating your day-to-day actions. The source gives some really good examples, like when you're making coffee.
You think, okay, I am now making coffee.
Or water in the kettle is beginning to boil. I'm adding a splash of milk. Really basic stuff.
Or looking out the window. That car driving past is a vibrant shade of blue. Or those flowers look nice today.
Just simple descriptive sentences. What this does, even though it feels basic, is it starts building those specific neural pathways.
Okay. So you're connecting the action or the sight directly to an English phrase in your mind.
Right. You're practicing forming simple English sentences automatically without that translation detour. It's laying the groundwork for, more complex thought later on.
Got it. Okay, strategy 3 then is about actively speaking English. Even if it's just to yourself.
Yeah, this one's important. Find a space where you feel comfortable, not self-conscious.
And just talk.
Yeah, talk out loud. Describe things around you. The source suggests getting really detailed colors, shapes, sizes, textures, what something is used for.
So looking at my desk lamp, this is a black lamp, it's metal, it helps me read, that kind of thing.
Exactly that kind of thing. Or maybe summarize an article you just read, or recount the plot of a YouTube video you watched. But do it out loud.
Why is the out loud part so important, do you think?
Well, vocalizing it, actually forming the sentences and hearing them, it really solidifies that connection between the thought and the linguistic expression.
It engages more senses.
Auditory, kinesthetic, the feeling of speaking. It embeds the language more deeply than just thinking it or reading it silently.
Okay. Strategy 4 feels very hands-on, labeling your environment.
Super practical, this one. Grab some sticky notes.
And just stick them on everything. Table, chair, window.
Pretty much. The common objects you interact with daily, but the key is the conscious effort when you see the label.
So you see the chair, you see the note that says chair, and you consciously link the object directly to that English word.
Right. You're intentionally bypassing the translation. You see the thing, you think the English word, direct link.
It seems like a really straightforward way to build that everyday vocabulary and just constantly reinforce those direct object-word connections.
It is. Constant visual reminders. Very effective for foundational vocabulary.
Cool. Okay, number 5 moves into reading. Active and contextual reading, and importantly, how you acquire vocabulary.
Right. So reading regularly, obviously good. Different genres, keep it interesting.
But the active part here means what? not just letting your eyes glaze over.
Exactly. Engaging with the text. And crucially, when you hit a new word, the advice is don't immediately reach for your bilingual dictionary or translator app.
Okay, so what do you do?
Try to infer the meaning first. Look at the words around it, the sentence, the paragraph. What seems logical in this context?
Take an educated guess.
Then, if you're still unsure, look it up. But ideally in an English dictionary.
So you'd see the definition in English, not your native language.
Yes, and pay attention to the example sentences provided. See how the word is actually used by native speakers.
And then the final step is?
Use it. Actively try to incorporate that new word into your own internal monologue. Maybe try using it when you speak or write later. That's what really cements it.
So it's not just about knowing the definition, it's about understanding its nuance and how it fits, and then making it your own.
Exactly. It fosters a deeper semantic understanding tied directly to English concepts.
Right. Now, strategy 6 tackles the big one head on. Minimizing and, ideally, eliminating mental translation.
Yeah, this is often the hardest habit to break, isn't it? Especially if you've relied on it for a long time.
Definitely. Feels like a safety net.
It does, but the source really emphasizes how crucial breaking this habit is for true fluency and that intuitive feel for the language.
So how do you actually do that? Just stop.
Well, it's a conscious effort. You have to really focus on accessing the English meaning directly. When you're thinking or speaking, try to operate within English.
What if you get stuck? Like, you know the concept, but you just can't grab the English word. The instinct is to translate it.
Right. And the advice here is resist that urge. Instead of jumping back to your native language to find the word and then translate it, try to describe the concept using the English words you do know.
Circumlocution. Like if I forget the word kettle, I might say the thing you use to boil water for tea.
Precisely. It keeps you thinking in English, using the resources you have, rather than breaking the flow to translate.
That's a really practical tip. Okay, number 7. Engaging in real-time English conversations.
This is where the rubber meets the road, kind of.
Putting it all into practice with other people, or even yourself.
Yeah, both. Find language exchange partners, join online discussion groups, talk to colleagues or friends if possible, or, like we mentioned with speaking aloud, even structure it like a conversation with yourself.
And the benefit is the speed, the spontaneity.
Exactly. Real-time communication forces your brain to think and respond in English much more quickly. There's less time, less opportunity to sit back and carefully translate each thought.
It pressures you into using the English you've got on the spot.
It really reduces that reliance on translation. This is often where people notice that big shift happening from consciously translating to just thinking and speaking in English.
Okay. Number 8 is maybe a bit more abstract. Encouraging dreaming in English.
Yeah, this one's interesting. The source presents it as a potential sign, an indicator that the language is really embedding itself on a deeper subconscious level.
So if you start dreaming in English, that's a good sign.
Potentially, yeah. It suggests your brain is processing English even when you're not consciously trying to.
Can you actually make yourself dream in English?
Well, probably not directly control it, no. But the suggestion is to sort of prime the pump. Try thinking in English, read something in English, listen to some English content right before you fall asleep.
The idea being it might subtly influence your subconscious linguistic activity.
That seems to be the idea. It's not guaranteed, of course, but it's an interesting thought. Engaging with English as the last thing you do might encourage your brain to keep processing it during sleep.
Worth a try, maybe. Okay, and finally, strategy number 9. This one sounds crucial. Patience, persistence, and self-compassion.
Absolutely vital, because let's be honest, training your brain like this, it takes time. It takes consistent effort. It's not an overnight thing.
So don't get discouraged if you try narrating your coffee making for a week and you're not suddenly fluent.
Exactly. It's so important not to beat yourself up if you don't see dramatic results immediately, or if you slip back into translating sometimes. That's normal.
The key is persistence. Keep going.
Keep going and acknowledge the progress you're making. Celebrate the small wins. Every single time you manage to think a thought directly in English without translating, that's a victory.
Yeah, recognize that as success.
It reinforces the habit and keeps you motivated. It's a journey, not a race. Be kind to yourself during the process. Every little bit strengthens those connections.
Okay, great. So let's just quickly recap those 9 strategies we pulled from the source. We had 1, active immersion.
2, conscious internal monologue in simple English.
3, Actively speaking English even to yourself.
4. Labeling your environment. Sticky notes.
5. Active reading and contextual vocabulary learning. English dictionaries.
6. Consciously minimizing that mental translation habit. Describe around words you don't know.
7. Get into real-time conversations. Spontaneity helps.
8. Maybe encourage some English dreams by engaging before sleep.
And 9, the big one. Patience, persistence, and celebrating small wins. Be kind to yourself.
Right. It really boils down to consistent exposure, varied practice methods, and that conscious effort to shift away from relying on translation.
It's about actively getting involved with the language in lots of different ways, isn't it? And kind of guiding your own internal thought processes.
Well put. It's an active process of retraining.
Exactly. So for you listening, here's something to think about. Which one of those 9 strategies really resonates with you? Which one feels like it might fit best with how you personally learn? And maybe more importantly, what's just one small concrete step you could take, maybe even today, based on one of these ideas, to start making that shift towards thinking more directly in English? That's your starting point for this deep dive.